Well, it's June and Bob Iger blinked. After years of shoving identity politics into every corner of entertainment, Bob Iger is now pulling the plug quietly. And Disney didn't lead Pride Month this year. Now, Disney didn't flood social media with rainbows, and Bob Iger didn't stand on a podium to lecture America. I mean, that's fear right there. And Bob Iger is watching Disney's brand crumble, and he's finally realizing that the audience he ignored is the one keeping the lights on. Now, basically, the typical stampede of companies falling over themselves to go ahead and be first with the rainbow branding hasn't happened. You see, June used to flip the switch across the corporate world, and that switch seems to be broken this year. Now, Bob Iger knows what's at stake, and Disney didn't erase its history, but paused the volume. Now, consumers noticed, critics noticed, even investors noticed. Every decision Bob Iger makes now is with damage control in mind. And it's actually not, it's about money, not the culture. And when the money talks, the message walks with it. Now, even Ubisoft, of all companies, acknowledged Men's Mental Health Month without attaching pride messaging, okay? And that's right there is a sharp contrast from prior years. And even Disney, a studio known for consistent alignment with identity campaigns themselves, fell behind on this messaging. Iger, who once approved Disney's full participation, sat out the opening plays this year, and there's no commitment here, just caution basically. Now the shift is awkward and visible, and Bob Iger isn't leading anymore. He's actually hedging. Now, Disney still hosts a pride section on his website, but it's not prominent. It feels like a checkbox, something to point to if challenge and stuff, not something to promote loudly. Now, Iger is aware of both ends of the spectrum. Investors from conservative regions demand neutrality. Activists demand visibility. The homepage basically is designed to say, we're still doing something without drawing too much attention. And that's how Iger is managing Disney right now. One foot in, one foot out. Kind of lukewarm, basically. Now, Disney used to make big displays with stormtroopers, merchandise, park events. All of it was highly visible, and that has changed ever since. Now, the move is not ideological, it's not personal growth. Iger is just reacting to corporate fallout. Sales dropped, audiences left, projects flopped, the brand suffered. Even Bud Light and Target made similar miscalculations, as you all remember, and the message is clear. These choices affect revenue. Go woke, go broke. Now, Disney's decline didn't happen in isolation. Bob Iger can read the chart, basically. And this year's corporate strategy is based on basically avoiding controversy, which they should have done a long time ago. It's about staying off the radar. And Disney now puts out messaging that doesn't commit either way. And Bob Iger's goal is to maintain brand access without drawing headlines. But neutrality doesn't rebuild trust, okay? Bob Iger should know that. Consumers remember what Disney said before, and Iger can't pretend Disney wasn't all in just a year ago. The switch in tone is actually obvious right now. And it's not about, creating a safe space or inclusivity. This is about product strategy. And Disney pushed ideology into children's content. Families push back. Iger knows how damaging it has been. He's watched viewership decline, and he's seen theme park attendance flatten. And this retreat from visible celebration is not compromise, it's just retreat. The product became political, and Iger is trying to unring the bell. Now, Sesame Street has softened its language as well this year, and the tone is a bit more generic with love, kindness, community. That shift is measurable. If even children's programming is avoiding specifics, it reflects new corporate boundaries. And Bob Iger hasn't issued any public commitment, basically, but his actions actually suggest avoidance, okay? And this is financial survival, not public service. And families wanted less messaging, and Disney is now testing how little it can do without provoking either side. Now, in the past, Disney used its platforms to go ahead and amplify these messages, and that's no longer happening at the same level. I mean, sure, some images are still in the parks. There are token links buried on their platforms, but this is scaled back. And Bob Iger is executing a slow withdrawal, not out of regret, but out of necessity. Now, the memory of Lightyear's failure and Strange World's underperformance is not fading, and no one forgot those. And Iger doesn't need another headline about box office losses tied to cultural messaging, okay? I mean, we've already seen that recently, but Disney's box office struggles have created a measurable divide between projects with heavy messaging and those without. And the financial outcomes actually differ. The audience reception differs, and Bob Iger can't escape those results publicly, and he avoids the subject privately. The adjustments are visible, budgets shrink, messaging disappears, strategies change, and the data drives it all. And Bob Iger isn't ignoring the data either. It's about time, by the way. But there's no cultural realignment within these companies. You see, there's a financial one, okay? And Iger is not shifting positions because of belief. He's changing tactics because past campaigns cost him. Now, Disney had to take risks, but now the margins are tighter. One more underperforming film could create a stock dip, and the retreat is real. You see, the reasoning is not ideological, it's revenue driven. And every company that pulled back this year is working from the same playbook. Iger just has the most public legacy tied to the old strategy. Now that makes his silence louder, and Disney helped set the tone for corporate Pride Month behavior in previous years. And now Disney is walking that back. And Bob Iger won't say it, but every decision suggests that he's reevaluating whether June is worth the fallout. Okay. Now, let's be real. Parents don't trust Disney the way they used to, as you all know. The content changed, the message changed, and Bob Iger tried to expand the audience and lost part of the foundation. Now, he wants to go ahead and rebuild that foundation without drawing too much attention to the pivot. But once that trust is gone, is not easily reclaimed, the content still feels loaded. The marketing still feels cautious, and consumers sense that, okay? They can actually tell what's going on. Now, the company's output is slower and less distinct. Messaging is quieter, releases are less ambitious, and Bob Iger is playing for time. He wants to rebuild without sparking another backlash, okay? And Disney's best days were built on clarity of vision. And right now, that vision is murky, and Iger's decisions reflect indecision. And that's a dangerous space for a company built on trust, all right? Now, as you all know, adults can engage in politics, and that's their choice. But when Disney infused those issues into kids' programming, the line was crossed. You see, Iger needs to correct course if he wants Disney to recover. He should have been done that a long time ago, not with vague support, not with half measures. The brand needs to refocus fully, and families expect neutrality from entertainment aimed at children. Now, Bob Iger can't keep ignoring that. And corporate culture basically definitely has shifted, and this isn't a new wave of celebration. It's a pause basically, and Bob Iger may act like nothing changed, but everything has. The market corrected itself, the audience spoke out loud. Disney's position now is defensive. The signals are clear. This isn't about inclusion, it's about fallout, and Bob Iger built Disney's recent identity around these causes. And now he's dismantling that work without acknowledging it. It's not subtle, but at this point, it's survival. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed what was shared in the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for future uploads and notifications. And I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.